All right, hello, folks, and welcome to this tornado. I almost said hurricane. This tornado outbreak short summary. This tornado outbreak happened on December 18th through the 20th of 1957. Looking at our overview here, we have a large amount of tornadoes in Illinois, especially for December. Note that by around 3 p.m. on the 18th, that still being December, dew points were in the low 60s across southeastern Missouri and southern Illinois. This is definitely out of the ordinary, especially knowing how temperatures should be in December. This is like twice as warm as you would expect, especially for air temperatures that were close to the dew points. We had a very strong lower and upper level jet, with specifically the upper level jet being more than 60 knots or more than 69 miles per hour. What this does is promotes shear heavily and also causes a lifted index, something that I haven't explained and will not explain in this video because it's pretty complicated, of -6. Just know that the lower the number of the lifted index, the more unstable the atmosphere and the more ripe it is for thunderstorm development. Most often, with a -6, you're definitely going to be seeing some severe storms. If a hodograph were to be plotted for, say, around like in between St. Louis and Indianapolis, probably Carbondale would be a good source, you would see a very curved, Lincoln NWS would be a good point there. You would have seen a very curved hodograph, which I've explained before, but is just like it just shows how volatile kind of the atmosphere is. So, tornadoes, right? We had a total of 37 confirmed tornadoes from this outbreak, around 21 of which occurred just in Illinois, and 4 out of these 37 tornadoes were violent, which is just under 11%. It's like 10.8%, but you can't have like 0.8% of a tornado. So I'm rounding it up to 11%. In total, this event would cause 19 deaths, 291 injuries, and 15.85 million 1957 US dollars in damage. Our first notable is going to be the south of Roaches, Illinois. Yes, that's an actual town name. To the northeast of Marlow, Illinois, F4. Note that there will not be very many pictures in this video, unfortunately. But this F4 tracked 27 kilometers over the course of 15 minutes and reached around 250 meters wide, killing 1, injuring 45, and causing $2.5 million in damage. Sorry, pardon me. This tornado would be the first out of 2 to strike Mount Vernon, the second one either being an F2 or an F3, so lower in intensity. This tornado would completely destroy around a dozen or so ranch-style homes before continuing on a skipping path. This could mean a number of things. Could mean that the tornado wasn't kicking up much debris and didn't have a visible condensation funnel. It could mean that the tornado wasn't as intense from this point on, but still, skipping path is pretty skeptical, or I'm pretty skeptical of that. I just don't like that term because it seems like, numerous tornadoes dropping down. But I digress. Lastly, this tornado would destroy Block Grade School, which unfortunately is not where kids get to play with Legos all day, because I would absolutely stay in that school forever. The good thing from this school comes from the fact that all of the students and faculty had left only half an hour earlier before this tornado struck it and destroyed it, which if they didn't, or if this tornado happened earlier, we would have much likely seen a much higher death toll and injury counts. So, very thankful for that. Our second notable here is definitely one of the lesser known F5s, the Sunfield, Illinois F5. This F5 only tracked just under 9 kilometers and only reached in at less than 200 meters wide. This tornado would still cause a death as well as 6 injuries, causing $250,000 in damage. Why the lesser everything? It's really just because this tornado only obliterated Sunfield and that was it. At the time, Sunfield was a very small community. Today, it still is, and you would have thought that a community absolutely obliterated by a tornado wouldn't rebuild, or just completely just dissolve and move on, move to other towns. This isn't what Sunfield did. Sunfield relocated simply to the south of the intersection that it was already on. So props to them. That is a bold move. Try it. Sunfield said, "Try it again. I dare you," and they haven't been hit as far as I know since. So that's worked out for them. I just say this because you do hear sometimes a little bit about tornado ghost towns, tornadoes that have just not rebuilt, not even necessarily cleaned up all that much after usually a violent tornado comes through. So for this very small community to completely rebuild so close to where they used to be is pretty outstanding. Now, somewhere like, say, Joplin is an exception. Joplin was already a pretty large town, so them rebuilding it, don't get me wrong, that is a feat in and of itself. But imagine if Joplin was a little baby town like Sunfield and it got obliterated by an EF5. Who knows if they would have rebuilt or not. But Sunfield did, and that's the biggest thing there. Alright, I will stop talking about Sunflower. Just kidding, it's Sunfield. Our third notable here went from Gorham, Illinois to Plumfield, Illinois. This F4 tracked an impressive 45.5 kilometers, reaching in at just under 650 meters wide. This tornado caused 11 deaths, injured 200 people, and caused $7.5 million in damage. This tornado was first observed at 4:45 Central Daylight Time, with it possibly originating or a first tornado originating in Missouri. However, this is up for debate and not verified. This tornado would at least destroy 40 homes in Gorham, where it was rated around F2, F3. Murfreesboro also got hit, where numerous homes were destroyed as well, where the damage was rated F4. This tornado would also damage DeSoto, Hearst, and Bush before finally being last seen to the almost direct northeast of Plumfield, Illinois. If a lot of these names of towns may sound familiar to you, like Gorham, Murfreesboro, DeSoto, that is because those same 3 towns also got hit by the tri-state tornado. So this tornado took a almost identical pathing to that tornado, something that is not normally seen. However, obviously not at the same time, but still, we did manage to find plenty of damaged photos from this tornado, though. Our last tornado is one that I found no pictures of. The east of Waldo to Stevens, Arkansas F4. This tornado did not happen on the same day as our previous 3, those occurring on the 18th. This one occurred on the 19th. This F4 had a path of 28.5 kilometers long, reaching in at only 35 meters wide. Despite this, the tornado would still kill 2 and injure 9. F4 damage was reported in Cotton Belt, which is apparently a town name in Arkansas. I don't know if it is anymore. And I couldn't find any information to say that that was even a town name in Arkansas, so Your pick on whether it's real or not. But despite all this, 13 homes and buildings would still be destroyed, with 9 others being quite badly damaged. Right before dissipating, this tornado decided to spite a car, throwing and rolling it for a combined total of 550 meters. It had something personal on the car, you know how it is. So, with everything I've gone through, we're seeing a pretty typical, although definitely above average in intensity, planes setup and execution, everything, which is absolutely true. However, this occurred in the exact opposite season. This occurred in ultra late autumn. The winter solstice in 1957 was on December 22nd to 23rd. So, very, very late autumn here. This event is still one of the largest tornado outbreaks in the entirety of Illinois history, let alone one of the largest December outbreaks in United States history, which is definitely something. December, obviously, not really known too much for tornadoes. Your 3 tornado months that you're always going to think of off the top of your head are March, April, and May, which are absolutely correct. And looking at the tornado touchdown density in December, this is from 1950 to 2013, so the recent tornado outbreaks that happened in Iowa are not accounted for here. You're seeing a lot more activity in the deep south, which is because usually the jet stream reaches quite low down. Low pressures tend to follow that jet stream, so you're going to be seeing activity where the jet stream is relatively. This wasn't the case here, where we saw activity in the Great Plains, which, according to this density map, isn't where it normally happens. So this was absolutely out of season. December is really out of season for everywhere in the US, more or less. However, we still have had some pretty intense December outbreaks. Every month has. So, with that, folks, that is all that I have for this exceptional out of season tornado outbreak. I hope that I learned something from this video. I did while researching it, and I hope to see you in the next one. I thank you all so much for watching.